This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle, an Odyssey station. And if you are loving this show and you want to listen to it on your phone, on your tablet, or any place that you find mobile, then download the Odyssey app today, because that'll give you all the audio that matters to you. Don't listen to the audio that don't matter to you. So don't listen to anything else. Odyssey's got the audio that matters to you. So, KISW, the music, the news, the sports, podcasts that move you. It's all on Odyssey. AUDACY. Odyssey.
Let's play Beat Mix.
It's time to play the game. So everybody scream his name. Beat Mix. Don't be a loser. Whoa! Beat Mix. You're a loser.
It is time to beat Mix. But it's Thursday, so let's get cracking.
Release the Kraken.
Yeah, release the Kraken.
And we've been talking all morning at 10 a.m. They're going to make a big announcement, but they just made a big announcement about 10 minutes ago as they just announced who their head coach is going to be. So I don't understand what's going on.
What? Wait a minute. I thought it was 10 o'clock. What?
Well, maybe that's going to be 10 o'clock. We announced that Gritty is going to be the official mascot of the Seattle Kraken.
Gritty.
And here's my reason why. Because they just announced their head coach, and he's the former coach for the Philadelphia Flyers, where the Gritty plays as mascot.
Wait, really? Maybe that's part of his deal. It's like, hey, if I go here...
He was the Flyers coach a few years ago, and he recently is the assistant coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs. His name is Dave Haxtell, and so he's our new coach for the Seattle Kraken.
Oh, wow. And was he one of the names that was being thrown around?
No, it came as a big surprise to a lot of people, and if you go on social media, there's a lot of people not very happy about it.
There's some opinions out there, yes.
Yeah, the Flyers had a good record when he was their coach. Maple Leafs, a good team, but it seems like he's been a part of teams that don't go very far in the playoffs. And the big knock against him is that he seems to be void of any emotions. So, that's why Philadelphia did not like him, because Philadelphia is such an emotional city. The Flyers and their fans are. And so even if games were going bad, he looked no different than if the games were going good. And that was like the big knock. And also, they had a bunch of young players and they didn't seem to get better. Again, who knows if this is a good or a bad thing? Obviously the Kraken have done their due diligence, and we're just stupid fans. But as of right now, the initial reaction is not positive from people on social media.
Not having a hothead, somebody that's actually pretty, emotionally stable is cool for Seattle. I mean, I think of Jim Mora Jr., and he did not do well here because some people thought that maybe he was a little too emotional. I mean, and also not a good coach, but, so there may be something to be said. His temperament may be one of the things they were looking at. Who knows?
I have no idea, and I don't know enough about the guy. I mean, obviously, I just know it just as like a everyday hockey fan as well, but I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and if this is the guy, I'm excited to see what happens. I mean, it's not like as if the Flyers had a bad record. They had actually a good. They were above 500 when he was their coach. It wasn't like they were a crap team. It was just I think people expected more than what he was able to get from that team.
Well, they're always expecting more.
Philadelphia should know that really their city is the reason why they don't. Thank you.
And someone said, "Hey, he's a great coach. He coached over at the University of North Dakota when I went there, and he's an awesome community guy as well."
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just pumped now. Now we have a coach. So things are getting a little bit closer to us getting Gritty as our mascot.
I still want to know if there's an announcement at 10 now.
I don't understand that. That's the thing. They said we have an announcement at 10, and then at like 8:30 they announce who the coach is. So is there still an announcement at 10? That's a very valid question.
It is weird how they do it. This is probably, are you sure that wasn't embargoed, Steve, and you were sent that, or has everybody got it?
No, dude, that was on their Twitter page.
Yeah, it's on their
They would produce video for it and everything. It's not like I just came up with this. This is.
I wonder if that was supposed to run an hour from now.
Oh,
and it was a mistake.
Maybe an intern did it.
Yeah, dude.
On every social media page, you think? Oh, that would suck.
On every social media. Well, I mean, boy, if somebody got the wrong time and said, "You want me to do it at 9:48, right?" And they think, "Okay, 8:48." Yeah, like you said, 8:48. And like,
maybe that person's on Mountain Time. Who knows?
One texter brought up a good point. They did it so that we can announce it.
Yes, thank you very much again. Now we know they're listening to us.
I imagine he'll be there, right? So that'll be the press conference at 10. Like that'll be, let's talk about more in his. I mean, I hope that's
getting off of that plane with Grady. I don't want to hear from him.
Yeah, good point.
Let's get to our contestant today. We've got Adam in Shelton. Adam, are you there?
Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Hey, Adam.
All right, Steve, get out of here. Goodbye. For those playing at home, Adam will have 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. Adam, you can pass all you want, but you'll only get 3 guesses per question. Are you ready?
Let's get cracking.
What was the first movie by Pixar to receive a rating higher than a G in the United States?
Deadpool.
Oh, what was that?
Deadpool.
No.
Pass.
Finish the title of the Fats Domino's song, Ain't That a What?
Pass.
What desert surrounds Las Vegas?
The Mojave.
Yes. What popular drink was originally marketed as Fruit Smack?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, are you there, sir?
Adam?
He's gone.
Adam,
Time for Vicky.
Vicky! What popular drink was originally marketed as Fruit Smack?
Kool-Aid?
Yes. In which decade did Mad Magazine debut?
The 60s?
No.
70s?
No.
80s?
No. Who played Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Johnny Depp.
Yes. Typically, the harvest moon occurs during which month?
October?
No.
November?
No.
September?
Yes. The insect known as the yellow jacket is a type of what?
It is a type of wasp?
Yeah! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The tag team of Adam and Vicky, mostly Vicky, got 5 correct.
All right, well,
the phone sucked, so sorry about that, Adam. And try again some other day. Steve, we had a interesting development as we played.
What happened?
Adam went away. His phone died, so Vicky stepped in. So you're going to get tag teamed by Adam and Vicky.
Pardon me?
Oh, well,
Maybe he was just so excited about Dave Hackstall as our
He's
new
trying to
coach
check
for
the Twitter
Kraken.
as he was answering the questions.
I got to get off the phone. I need to do my research and learn about our new coach. It's our first coach ever for the Seattle Kraken.
That's exciting.
It is.
Are you ready?
Release the Kraken.
What was the first movie by Pixar to receive a rating higher than a G in the United States?
Toy Story.
No.
Finding Nemo.
No.
Moana.
No. Finish the title of the Fats Domino song, Ain't That a What?
Shame.
Yes. What desert surrounds Las Vegas?
The Sahara.
No.
Yeah, that's it. The Red Desert.
No.
I don't know, man. I can see it, but I can't. This is going to make me mad. The Desert of Tranquility.
No. What popular drink was originally marketed as Fruit Smack? Fruit Smack.
Yeah. Kool-Aid.
Yes. In which decade did Mad Magazine debut?
60s.
No.
50s.
Yes. Who played Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Johnny Depp.
Yes. Typically, the harvest moon occurs during which month?
November.
No.
October.
No.
September.
Yes. The insect known as the yellow jacket is a type of what?
Bumblebee.
No.
Oh, a wasp.
Yes. What color dress does Flintstones character Betty Rubble typically wear?
Blue.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Steve, you win 7-5.
Well, it had to happen.
Yeah. I mean, Adam lost his phone. Nikki came in and really kind of helped a lot, but just didn't get quite there. You were really cool. I mean, you were saying it was on the tip of your tongue. It was the one that Adam did get correct. It was the Mojave Desert.
Yeah, there we go.
And does anybody know the first movie by Pixar to receive a rating higher than a G in the U.S.?
Is it Up?
No.
I don't know.
It would be The Incredibles.
Oh, because they have guns.
Oh, is that why?
I'm guessing, yeah, because I was thinking about that. I'm like, I feel like that might be the only Pixar movie that actually shows a gun.
Oh, okay.
And that makes it a PG-13 showing a gun, huh?
Well, it's probably PG.
Yeah, maybe PG.
Not G.
Oh, I thought you said higher than a PG. Oh,
no, I said higher than a G.
Higher than a G.
Oh, okay. Well, I still wouldn't have guessed The Incredibles, but okay.
No.
That makes sense.
You know,
I can see PG meaning a gun being a PG. That makes sense.
Well, congratulations, Steve. You won.
Thank you.
Good job, Stevie.
Dude, it's funny. I'm on Twitter just reading all the reactions about the
Dave Haxtell.
Dave
Yeah.
Haxtell, the new coach for the Seattle Kraken. First ever coach coming from, most recently, he was the assistant coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And before, he also was the head coach for the Philadelphia Flyers. And it's just funny because some people are, obviously being a little too extreme, but some people are just having some fun with it. Like, I like this person that wrote, "This seals the deal. I am no longer a Kraken fan. This team is a pure and utter embarrassment to the city of Seattle. I will not be renewing my plan next season, nor will I watch it on TV ever again. I'm going to Philadelphia where they know how to run a mega dynasty."
Ever again? They haven't even...
It's a joke. That's why. Because that's like the running joke whenever you don't like something that a team does.
Yeah.
You go, that's it. I'm no longer a fan. No, I thought that was funny.
That is funny. So yeah, I'm not watching. I'm not renewing the contract. I'm out. Yeah,
Right.
It's like, well, yeah, I'm not watching TV. Going, yeah, okay.
Another person like, "I'm a lifelong fan of the Seattle Kraken. I approve of this hiring. It brings a tear to my eye that the team I grew up watching made such an amazing hire for the organization."
That's funny. That is awesome.
Wow.
So I love that. You know what? The trolling is happening to the point that they're trolling the trolls. I love that.
And I also love the Flyer fans are like, "Oh, great. I'm sure he's going to go to that team and win a cup for them." Because I think they've had some issues in the past where coaches have left Philadelphia and then gone on to do good things.
Oh, now I hope that's the case.
Right.
I mean, look, Seattle has a way of seeing like the jewel in somebody that's been cast aside. I mean, it's, Pete Carroll, Marshawn Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
There's, okay, I wish I could name a Mariner, but I can't. But it's
A-Rod. Wait, no.
No.
Randy Johnson.
No, that's not it either. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, did we ever get anybody? I mean, really? I don't know. Boomstick, we had him for a while. I guess he's still a pretty good player, All right, but yeah, so maybe this is maybe Haxtell comes in here, the right bit of magic with a brand new team, and he Vegas Knights this baby.
I'm excited, man. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Now I just want to know, like Danny said, like what the hell is the announcement? It's got to be just a press conference.
If it's just a press conference, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to take off my hoodie today and throw it away.
Oh, yeah? I'm going to pick it up and take it and keep it.
Watch it and wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
It's
It is
a press
odd.
conference.
Did they announce it on their social media? They have a big thing at 10. Did they actually put that on their social media?
Yeah, man.
Then it's so weird to have...
Yeah, yesterday they had the announcement that said something's in the water. Join us tomorrow for a special live stream announcement on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at 10 a.m. And that was 13 hours ago.
So here's what I'm thinking.
29 minutes ago, Seattle, we got our guy, Dave Haxtell. First coach ever in Seattle Kraken history.
Do you think somebody leaked it? Because, we don't listen to sports radio, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody probably leaked it. And then they were like, well, no reason not to put it on our own Twitter pages.
Yeah, it could be maybe. Well, I know like our buddy Ian Furness, who's, but he's part of the station that's going to be running Kraken games, which is KJR. He put up something that just said, hey, it's not going to be Rick Tocchet. I'm confirming that Rick Tocchet will not be the head coach. All we know is that the head coach will be announced at 10 a.m. and Ron Francis is real good at keeping things under wraps. So that was
okay.
So it sounded like he's like, we know it's not Rick Tocchet, but we have no idea who it's going to be. So it makes you wonder.
Or what if it's a press conference and like a jacket on, and then he takes off the jacket and he's wearing the first jersey.
I'm okay with that.
That would be cool. I would like that.
You know what? I bet these guys have been so buttoned up with all of their media stuff that, I think Danny's onto something. There's got to be something more than the head coach, since they just announced it an hour early.
Hour and a half early. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. All right.
They're keeping us thinking, man. That's what happens on a Kraken Thursday. You just don't know.
You just don't know, man. Well, it is time for Listeners on the Loose. This is where you pick the topic, you guide the show. 206-421-ROCK, text us at 77999. We got your calls, we got your texts. We'll take those at 9:19 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. It's Listeners on the Loose. Brought to you by Spartan Plumbing. Listeners on the Loose, where you pick the topic, you guide the show at 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. And it is simple, man. When you tell us what you want to tell us, make sure you do it in the way Steve wants you.
It's a simple way, BJ. So just show some energy and bring it. Otherwise, we're gonging you and then going to have to say goodbye.
Goodbye, old friend.
206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. Joe Dredd in Seattle, you are on The Rock.
Good morning, guys.
Joe.
Good morning, Joe. What's up, buddy?
So a couple days ago, you guys were talking about, stupid radio stunts and whatnot. And Steve brought up the guy, Ron, that used to work with Andy and Jody. And, of course, this led into the Olympics.
Yes.
So... And Steve, I really don't think you gave people enough information about what really went on in the Olympics. But my wife and I, before we got married, we were part of that Olympics competition when your hose backed out. And
so for those that didn't hear on a couple of days ago, we were talking the dumb radio contest, and we were like,
set it up, Steve, set it up.
Well, I knew the Olympics was about to happen. We're like, we should do something that ties in with the Olympics to give away some kind of a prize. So my brilliant idea was, why don't we get a bunch of hookers to do some kind of competitive things on our show, and we call it the Olympics. And we did. We hired hookers, but then they no-showed after the first day.
Radio genius.
Yeah, so then you guys put the call out. You wanted couples to compete.
That's what it was.
And I do believe there was three couples, and one guy, actually, his mate didn't show up, but he was still there competing and being a good sport and whatnot. But it was mainly my wife, Healy, and myself against this young, annoying couple that were in their 20s. And they were the team for us to beat. Now, it was 5 days, different competition each day. Do you remember that?
Barely, but
wow,
yes.
You spread this over 5 days. Good for
BJ,
you.
we had a lot of faith in these hookers coming, and they only showed up for one of the days.
Wow.
And so, each day was a different type of competition. And there was one, actually, my wife wanted me to remind you about this one. You guys called it Amanda Beard, where you had a bowl of hair, like dog hair, pubic hair, whatever. And one of the people of the team had to stick their face in honey and then roll their face into this bowl of hair.
Okay.
And you took pictures and put it online, and people got to vote who had the best beard.
Okay, that's what a great competition.
In all fairness, I was working at NPR at the time, and this seemed like the right thing to do.
That's right. They really they're very extreme with their different promotions they would do.
Healy knew exactly how to win. She's like, "Well, I don't want to get my shirt dirty. Can I take it off?" And she had this great bra on underneath. And of course, we won that day because of that, because everybody likes the boob.
That's true.
The one that I totally forgot about until you mentioned Ron. One of the days you had Ron. From the waist up, covered in chocolate frosting. Oh, yeah. And which team licked off the most frosting won for that day.
Whoa. Hey, that's radio genius right there, baby.
Well, Ron also had kind of a hairy chest. So when I saw that, I go, we'll take the back. Let the kids have the front.
But see, we were thinking of hygiene, so we didn't have them both like the same spot.
Oh, good job. Yeah, good job.
And at the time, Ron has slimmed down since, but at the time, Ron was a bigger guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was a bit sweaty, too.
He was very sweaty.
Boy, there is just so much that we did that we can no longer do in this business.
Yeah. Yeah, but we wound up winning the competition, and the first prize was a trip to Vegas and staying at the MGM Grand.
Nice.
And that's what we used to get married in Vegas.
That's awesome. See?
That is very cool. So
the whole Olympics is the reason why you guys got married.
Yeah.
It's funny, Steve, at the time we weren't working together, but, the show that I was on was responsible for introducing them, and the show that you were on was responsible for marrying them.
Look at that.
And look at us together, you and I. It was meant to be.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
It's like
and they've been going strong ever since. And Healy is awesome, too, by the way. So I'm so happy that you and her are still together, Joe, because you're good people.
Thank you, BJ. Love you too.
Joe, you sound different. What the hell just happened?
Wow, Joe. Take it easy, guys. That's man. You know, that's war stories. I have a buddy of mine who's living in Sarasota now, but we worked in Rochester together, and he was telling his sons. He's got 4 sons, and he goes, "Let me tell you what radio was like in the 80s and 90s." And boy, oh boy, Steve.
And early 2000s.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. I mean, it was just, oh man, it was a whole different world that I don't think people would like us very much for some of the stuff that anybody who's in radio now did back in those days. Because it's a different world.
I feel like in 2021 we can still dip our face in honey and pubic hair. I don't think there's a problem.
Oh, you think that's okay? Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Maybe
well,
not.
You know what? I don't know. NPR, I think, has moved on from that kind of stuff, Steve.
I mean, because I guess at the time Amanda Beard was a big star in the Olympics. So it only
there
made
you go.
sense.
Make a man and a beard. Oh, yeah.
A man,
you know what?
the beard.
You're a clever man.
I mean,
you know,
I'd at least get a gold for effort.
Yeah, hey, I see what you did there.
And participation.
That's what it is. It is Listeners on the Loose. You pick the topic, you guide the show. 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. Let's go to Jerry. Jerry Trash, another old, look, it's old school today.
Vintage
Jerry.
Wednesday.
Yeah, it is. All us show veteran listeners.
Yeah. What you got for us, Jerry?
So, in the previous break, you talked about the man who saved his 4-year-old daughter's life with CPR by remembering from a TV show that doing it to the beat of a disco song was the appropriate number of rate of chest compression.
I like that Jerry sets up his own break. You know what I mean, Steve? He saves us the time of having to reset everything. Jerry, it's almost like you're a radio vet. Yes, we did talk about that, Jerry.
And that led to Steve telling you how much he likes disco. Now, a big part of Steve's job is to troll DJ, but I believe Steve has a genuine love of disco. That's because Steve was in preschool or kindergarten when disco was really big and popular.
Oh, so you think that as a kid he heard it a lot and loved it a lot?
It was just dumb, childish music.
He loved it a lot because, that was in the early years when he was developing his operating system.
Whoa, so he's got science behind this, Steve. Even though you would deny the hell out of this back when you were probably in your teens, right, Steve? And in high school, you'd never say you'd like disco.
I wasn't like a huge disco. I mean, I think I've grown to appreciate it more because of the fact that people hated it. It just kind of falls in line. I like the things that people don't want to like, so it's like I try and find something good out of it. And I don't like all disco. I just like the Bee Gees and Donna Summers. I mean, that's not all of disco, is it?
No, but they were definitely well, and arguably, I mean, Queen. Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, but Queen's never been one of my favorite bands. I don't own a single Queen record. I don't dislike Queen.
So you never went crazy and got songs, after Bohemian Rhapsody?
No, I never. I've always appreciated the songs that I've heard. And I've even grabbed it on my Apple Music, but I never bothered to listen. Let me grab the Queen Essentials, and I'll really dig deep.
Oh,
into
and you
Queen.
never listened to it? Oh, no. Man, well,
and I know
have Apple
great.
Music. It doesn't matter. It's not like you're paying for it. I mean, well, you are, but not really. When you're in that brain.
But when we talk about Kiss, my favorite Kiss record is considered to be the one that most people don't like because it's them delving a little bit into the world of disco, and that's the Dynasty record.
Oh, okay.
So maybe Jerry's got something there.
He might have something. Yeah, it could have been exposed. Was your mother or father? No, you said they were into easy listening and Sinatra, so they weren't the ones.
No, but my uncle Peter, he was big into disco because people said that he looked kind of like John Travolta, so he really leaned into that.
Oh,
and so he did his hair like John Travolta.
Wow,
he wore his shirts and he listened to the music that John Travolta wasn't. I don't even know if John Travolta liked disco, but he was in Staying Alive.
Yeah, right.
So that record was played quite a bit in our home.
It was also in Saturday Night Fever.
That's what it is. I'm sorry.
Well, I think Staying Alive was number 2.
Yeah, it was the sequel to it, yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering if you were trolling just because you love Grease too, and like, Steve's going to say the better movie was Staying Alive.
Someone said I heard Marv Albert loved disco. Now,
yes!
Coincidence? I think not.
Whoa. I love disco, Steve. My son.
Someone has a question for Vicky.
Oh,
nothing to do with disco.
But doesn't she do this on OnlyFans? Are we taking away her money by answering, doing an AMA that's not on OnlyFans?
Hey, sometimes you got to give somebody like a tease.
I see.
And then they'd want to pay for the rest.
Exactly.
All righty.
Right, so this person wants your advice. They said, would it be disrespectful for a guy to ask a girl out while she's working? They're the teller at the bank, and she's a real cool, beautiful woman that I want to ask out, and I only see her there. Don't know if that's wrong or not.
I feel like it's a very awkward position to put her in, especially if she's either in a relationship or, you know, she maybe isn't feeling you. But I mean, if you feel like she's been kind of flirty or talkative and there's something said like, oh, I really like this band. Oh, yeah, me too. We should go together. If you just kind of throw it in very casually, but because it doesn't sound like you're asking her out, it's just a very casual, hey, we can go together. And then you can feel it from there. If you don't really have the opportunity, I'd say no.
Or deposit a good chunk of money and say there's more where that came from. And then
that's wow. With that voice, too. It's so important to use that voice.
Just have Steve there for you doing it for you.
Yeah.
Really, like,
you know what?
Emphasize the word deposit, too, when you
I have a deposit for you.
Oh, wow.
That's how you don't do it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great, though, to have Steve as the bad cop. That way, everybody looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, you go in first. Yeah.
Oh, I'm like am I the heater or the cooler? I'm not sure. I'm heating it up for him.
You're kind of like the anti-wingman, but you are the wingman in a way.
I'm just so deplorable that anything after me is better.
Yeah. You're the dating Ginger.
I am Ginger. I hate Ginger. So, yeah,
me
that
too.
makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
You should totally go in being a Karen, then try to ask her out. She's repulsed because you were Karen first. And then he's going to come in all charming and nice. Like, you know what? You shouldn't have to deal with people like that.
Because that's what she wants, back-to-back guys hitting on her.
Yes.
Well, but
maybe
it's different,
maybe
though.
wait a person or two, but just enough.
Yeah, knight in shining armor. Or maybe she goes, hey, buddy, you know what? She doesn't want what you're selling. Get out of here. And then you can just go, I'm sorry about that. And then he gets to be charming. Maybe not even ask her out, but just go, sorry you had to go through that. That guy was an idiot.
See, what you need to do is you need to go in, deposit a check, and then that little memo line just says, will you go out with me, Y/N, and see what she says.
You know, if it's a bank, why don't you just money heist the whole thing and be like, you know, one of the characters of Money Heist. They were able to, you know, actually, through Stockholm effect, they were able to get some romance going on.
Some chicks dig the bad boys. You should rob the bank.
Rob the bank, she'll rob the bank, and you'll have money to go on the date.
And you should definitely tell her a name like that. I thought the city names in Money Heist were cool. Everybody had a cool city name. Say your name is Rio or Tokyo or something. Go in there and
don't say you heard any of this on our radio.
Yeah. Please don't do
No. Actually, condemn or we're not. Yeah, don't do that.
Right. Yeah. No, not financial advisors.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Don't even know what we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. You pick the topic, you guide the show. It is Listeners on the Loose. 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. More of your calls and more of your texts at 937 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at WeConsiderWA.org.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. It's Listeners on the Loose. You pick the topic, you guide the show. 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999.
Again, some text messages about Dave Haxtell, the new and very first coach for your Seattle Kraken, which it looks more and more likely like that 10 o'clock announcement that I think maybe what the original intention was to announce that that's when the coach was going to be the coach, but now it's looking more and more likely that's going to just be their press conference because I'm seeing pictures of him at some place where he's going to be doing a press conference because he's here in Seattle. But somebody brought up a good point. They said Dave also coached guys like Jonathan Taves and TJ Oshie at the University of North Dakota. Be great to get those guys back together with him on the Kraken. Another person said he coached TJ Oshie not only in college but also in high school. So that'd be pretty sweet. Nice, a reunited and it feels so good moment.
Yeah, you know what, dude? It's just getting closer. That's what's exciting about this. I have no opinion about Dave Haxtell, outside of what you've told me about him. And you just can never predict who's good for what team and the vibe and front office and all of that. You just don't know when the magic's going to happen. Nobody would have thought Pete Carroll was going to do what he did in Seattle. As a matter of fact, people thought we were crazy when we got Pete Carroll, and it turned out one of the best coaches in the history of the team.
No, you're right. People lost their minds about Pete Carroll. I know some people are losing losing their minds about this one. It's hard to say because one of my buddies, my buddy Elliot, that I'm talking on Twitter, and he's just like, I don't even know how to feel about this. I wasn't expecting this hire coming. And also said, Flyer fans don't seem to love him, but that was his first head coaching gig. So, you don't know how someone's going to change since their first head coaching gig. He since became the assistant coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he really handled their defense, and their defense was solid. So I'm excited. Just, we have a coach now. We're one step closer to picking our players and getting an identity for this team. And if the big knock is that he didn't have a ton of emotion when their team was doing bad, that doesn't bother me. Some coaches just kind of play it cool, calm, and collected no matter what.
I think it fits well here, to be honest with you. There are just certain markets that, they want someone to be out of their minds, and I think that's crazy to have a coach that is out of his mind. I just don't think that works anymore. To have a coach that's just like, who just looks like, Bobby Knight is just, it's just not the way it is anymore. So I think this may be a good sign that we're getting a dude that's actually maybe a next generation of the style of coaching.
Well, I love how some people are losing their minds about this, but also people are losing their minds about the rumor that it was going to be John Tortorella because he's too emotional. So it's like you can't win. You're never going to. No,
you really can't.
You won't make everybody happy with any decision. So I'm not. I don't have any opinion like you said. Like my only opinion is based on what we've seen in the past, but this is a whole new thing. It was a new organization, new franchise, and he obviously he had to have learned from his first stint as a head coach. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with him. Yeah, there's an interview process, and the team knows what they want to do. They know how they want to approach these first opening years of the franchise, and that's important. We're all thinking, hey, let's get a winner, but they've got a whole mapped out process, and then they also know what they want when they're sitting down talking to the candidates. And it's not always what you think. It may just be, they're more compatible with each other and the front office and the general manager. And, how do you see really going forward with this team as we're building something from the ground up? And he may be a great ground up guy. You know what I mean? As opposed to a guy that's got some establishment to him and maybe even has got some championships under his belt, may not be a great inaugural type of coach. And also people thinking, because of the Flyers stuff, that's not too crazy because, he had 134 and 101 and 42 record over 3 seasons. Yeah, but he didn't throw chairs, Steve. Yeah. Okay? He should have thrown some chairs. Yeah. Well, I'm excited, man. Hackstall. They better freaking give us more than just that, though, at 10 o'clock. Otherwise, he just teased us for nothing. Yeah, well, here's what I'm thinking. I'm so demanding. I want jerseys and mascots, damn it. I really feel like a lot of people are going to tune in at 10 o'clock for the first time and hear about this. Sure. And then there's the folks that are really involved socially and whatever, and they gave a little hey, for you folks that follow us and everything else, said, you're going to get the info first. Mm-hmm. I think there may be something to that for the younger fans. We're going to tell you before the old folks that barely know how to turn on their TV to find out this news. Well, what if this is a giant swerve? He sits down at the press conference, he sits at the podium or stands at the podium, however they're going to do it, and he's like, I'm not actually hired to be the coach. And then the team's president grabs the mascot head and puts it over his head, and Dave Hackstall is the first mascot of your Seattle Kraken. Boy, oh boy, that would be an interesting career change for him, but it would be awesome to see. I feel like I'm turning the Kraken organization into an episode of Parks and Rec. Yes. Yeah. That's a good call. Yeah. Okay, Leslie. Good job. 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. It is Listeners on the Loose. You pick the topic. You guide the show. Someone just texted in with some good advice for that guy that wanted to ask out his bank teller. Oh, right, said, yes. For the guy that was asking about the banker, he should just hand her a paper with his name and telephone number on it. Then say, if you want to go out sometime, send me a text. Let me ask Vicky. If you're right, this is not a bank robbery. I'm here to steal your heart. Oh, there it is. Ooh. That's not a gun in my pocket. Wow. Okay, that's not too far. That's a little too. You got to know your audience. You got to know that she's gun. Love gun. Nice. All right. So she needs to be a perverted Kiss fan, is what you're saying. Yes. Okay. Fair enough. Aren't all bank tellers? Yeah, they're all perverted Kiss fans. Yeah. Duh. Seriously. Vicky, if somebody wants to give a contact number to you, is that cool? Is that too intimate to give a phone, like a cell phone number? But what about like a Facebook or something? No. Here's my no. I'd rather do a phone number over Facebook because my parents are on Facebook. I don't know. I don't need you to be seeing my parents and my parents seeing if you're posting. There's too much going on. Yeah, I think you can really stalk someone on Facebook as opposed to a phone number. Exactly. Well, or you could do what I think the kids are doing nowadays, and it's that one app. What is it? WhatsApp.
Which
really? That's been an app forever.
Yeah. Well, like I hear all the young people talking about it, and I think they do. I feel old. But that and my parent or my family out of the country, they use that a lot. But people will get that phone number so they don't give their real number.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like a burner number.
Yeah.
It'd be great if somebody just gave you their phone number, Vicky, and then you just handed them your OnlyFans card and be like, "Yeah, we could chat on here
for $6.99 a month."
Exactly.
Yeah, that was weird. That happened to us, Steve. Remember that girl in Vegas? We were having a nice time. She was just a nice person behind the bar. Yeah, she was cute and everything. Next thing you know, she goes, "Oh, by the way, guys," and then next thing you know, there are like almost nudes just being shown on people's phones of this same girl. And I thought that was a wild call.
You got so many details. It sounds like she just sent us pictures of naked pictures. She was a nice bartender, and then at some point, I don't know how it came up on Instagram. I think she was asking what we do, and we're like, we do a radio show, and she's like, "Oh, where can I find you guys?" And I was like, "Oh, you can find our Instagrams." And she started to follow all of us on Instagram. And then we all got the notification after, like, she went to get us drinks, and it was like, "Oh, this lady's following us," and we all clicked on it, like, "Oh, okay, wow, like
nice."
This fully like she was not wearing anything that made you think she was like, did like an Instagram page where there's like provocative pictures.
Yeah. So you guys were checking your phones. I wasn't until you showed me pictures. So for me, the story was just like how I remembered it. Like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And then all of a sudden, one of you guys shoved the phone in my face and goes, "Hey, this is her." I'm like, holy, what?
Well, it was definitely the other guy because he then later on subscribed to her page.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
That's true.
Because the next day we wake up and you're like, I might have subscribed to that person's, like, whatever. Yeah. It wasn't OnlyFans, but it was kind of like an OnlyFans. I don't remember what it was called.
And there was a lot more to be seen.
Different. Yeah. Maybe it was OnlyFans and I just didn't know it at the time.
Yeah, it was, but there was more to be seen. I'll say that, Steve. It was hey, you paid to get into this joint, and here's what you get to see.
I just thought that was so awesome that he just, on a wasted impulse buy, decided to purchase that person's explicit content page.
It didn't cost much, though. I think it was like
I think he said like it was like $1.
Oh, yeah, nice. I think you could make that kind of a purchase. You know what I mean?
That's for $1. Yeah, I think these days the prices have gone up.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have. It's Listeners on the Loose. You pick the topic. You guide the show. 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999.
Oh, big question. Dude, does Vicky really have an OnlyFans, or is this a running joke?
No, I really do. I legit do.
Yes.
How do they find it?
Just send me a message on Facebook.
Oh, you're not even going to put it... Oh, so you won't even put it out on the air? Is it a little weird to do so, or hard to do, like as a long URL or something?
Yeah, it's like people can't spell.
Oh, right.
No one could ever spell my name right. That's why.
Okay. I'm not sure. You mean Vicky, or is it something more like crazy?
Just send me a message.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Or send me one, and I'll send you my OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah. We'll all send you our OnlyFans.
Yeah,
Steve's OnlyFans is literally him in the heat with a bunch of fans on him while he's naked.
I mean,
it's worth the $5.
It's from the neck up, though. You don't see anything.
The trouble is you're in there, Steve, so it's really not OnlyFans. So you have to get out of there.
Almost OnlyFans.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. Well, hit her up. There you go.
Yeah, send Vicky a message. Yeah, that's probably the better way to do it. Wow. All right, well, we've got a big question that needs to be answered. What do Ryan Castle and a balloon have in common? I'm going to tell you at 9:50 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW. And now, the Ryan Castle question of the day.
What do Ryan Castle and a balloon have in common?
Sometimes they have drugs in them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have drugs in them, and then they are in me.
Wow. Someone texted, when Steve sucks boat, they make his voice sound funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
I mean, that's just helium.
That's a visual.
Steve needs a machine to inflate both.
Okay, there's that.
That's weird.
Yeah,
that is weird. I don't know exactly how that works.
I don't know if I want to.
There's only one way to find out for sure, I guess.
There's a company called Space Perspective, and they are taking reservations with the first space balloon ride set for 2024. Up to 8 people can go at a time. Each trip lasts 6 hours, and one ticket costs you $125,000, even though it won't really get you into space, and you're not going to experience weightlessness either. But, 2 hours, you basically ascend up to 100,000 feet.
And you're stuck with 8. So I'd want to do that if I'm with 8 friends. Like going to like Benihana when you're only 2 people at the table, you don't know anyone else, and you're just stuck at dinner with people. It's like, this sucks.
you can't even have a cocktail because you got to wear like a mask and stuff. So you're just kind of hanging out. This technology exists and has for a long time. Why so much? And why do we have to wait until 2024?
Yeah, these are all very, very good questions. I don't know if I can give you the answers, but I know Ryan can give you a 12-pack, and he's got that next.
BJ and Migs play of the day.
What ridiculous thing did you do all because of a dare?
I was at a party, and the night was winding down, and my friends decided to ask me to streak through from the basement all the way out the front door.
That's it. You Frank the Tanked it, baby.
Hey, I wasn't completely naked. I was wearing a hat.
Oh, well, all right. Well, good.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. Can I leave things off of a bankruptcy, like my car?
You have to list all of your assets and creditors when you file bankruptcy. So you would have to tell the court and the trustee that you have the car or that you have a car loan. You could say that I want to keep my car and continue to make my payments on the car. But the court will need to know that you have a car and that you may have a payment on the car. So by leaving it off the bankruptcy, if you mean that you cannot disclose it to the court, the answer to that is no, you must disclose it. However, that does not mean that you'll lose those assets. You'll be able to keep things like a car and a house in almost all cases, but you must disclose them to the court. But you'll need to continue to make payments on a house or a car that you intend to keep.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.